Good morning, families. Welcome back to school on this little bit short week for you guys. We had teacher work day on Monday, but it is Friday, and so it's time for us to do our social studies weekly update, talk a little bit about what we got through these 4 days of school and what we'll plan to do next week when we have a full day of work. So if you look on the screen here, you'll see Monday the 6th, of course, was our teacher work day. When we came back to school, we got right back into economics because we had one more content piece we needed to cover before we started our end of unit check. So we talked about the West African gold and salt trade. We did a reading, we did some notes, we continued that on Wednesday with a set of graded questions. That's the first grade in the fourth quarter. So if you take a look at your child's Infinite Campus, if you have access to yourself, you should see that grade. If you don't have access yourself, ask your student to bring up their Infinite Campus on their Chromebook and they should be able to show you their first score. On Thursday, a little bit on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday mostly, students started their economic end of unit project, and that's where they take all of their notes and all of their learning for the unit and they go through a packet and see if they can't solve the problems of answering certain types of questions. So that we started, a few people started it on Wednesday. The majority of people started it yesterday on Thursday. Everybody will have an opportunity today to finish it if they're not finished with it. Some people are finished with it. And so if they're not finished with it, they will finish it today in class. And then as we are finishing, we are beginning our unit on social structures in the ancient world. How people were ranked in the ancient world, why they were ranked the way they were, what were the different rankings in the ancient worlds. That starts today. We're going to get into some vocabulary pre-assessment. We're going to get into some early ideas about what is a hierarchy and what is social mobility and what is social class and gender roles and political roles and different ways that people were grouped and sorted or ranked in the ancient world. And that's what we'll carry on to in our next week. So Wake County and North Carolina has 4 basic places they would like 6th graders to kind of look at social structures in the ancient world. And so you can see the 4 of them actually on the screen here. I don't know if we'll get through all 4 of them this week, but I wanted to kind of put them there so you could see where we're going. The first grouping people is ancient Egypt. So we're going to talk about the ancient Egypt pyramid and the ancient Egypt social structure with the pharaoh all the way down to enslaved people. Unfortunately, we do talk a little bit about enslaved people in this unit because that was the historic kind of understanding. We'll then move into the Roman social structure, and we're going to be looking at patricians versus plebeians versus freemen, and again, enslaved people. In Japan, we'll be looking at their feudal structure, which is a kind of interesting one because it's got the emperor at the top, but the emperor really had no political power. It's shoguns and samurais and the different way that the Japanese cut their kind of society up. And then we also talk a little bit about the Indian caste system. So those are our 4 social structures that we look at in this unit on social structures and compare and contrast and look at how they are similar and different and why they did the choices that they did and how things kind of worked for them. And so we'll be doing notes and slide decks, kind of understanding what each of those are. And then we're going to do a fun, I think, project that will happen into the next week after this. And it's called the social structure dinner party. And students will be assigned one of the roles within these social structures. And then they have to write a biography poem, or a bio poem we call them, about their character. What was their life like? What did they think? How did they feel? How did other people treat them? How were they treated? That kind of thing. And they write a little poem about it, and then they're going to meet at a table with other people from other social structures, and they're going to share their poems and talk about how they were treated. And it's a very interesting little thing. And we're going to do a dinner party, so I might ask some of you to volunteer to bring in a couple of goldfish or maybe Capri Suns that help us with that dinner party feel. So that's where we're kind of going in social studies and now social structures. One quick note, report cards just were put into our mailbox this morning, Friday morning, so they will be going out to students today, so you'll be able to see their 3rd quarter grades. It actually has 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter on it, so you can kind of see in comparison to later quarters, and we are now in the 4th quarter. So hopefully things are going well this first week back, and if you have any questions, any concerns, anything you need from me, please let me know. I'll talk to you next week.